Hi, I'm Mindy Burgoyne, and this is your Haunted Minute, and I'm here at the Dorchester County Courthouse. And right beside the courthouse is this park area. And years ago it was known as Spring Valley, and it was the place where they had the slave auction block. It was a place where they did public punishment, like the stocks and the pillories and the whipping post. And it was also the place of executions. There's a famous execution here that left the place haunted, and that was the execution of Bloody Henny. Henny Inslee was an African slave who worked on a farm in Vienna, owned by the Inslee family. And as she tells it, one morning when she was eating her breakfast, she complained that she didn't get a sausage on her plate. Mr. Inslee was furious that she'd be so insolent as to complain, and so he beat her profusely. And after the beating, Henny looked at him and said, "You know, you'll be sorry you did that." He didn't care. Then later in the day, when she was helping Mrs. Inslee with the wash, which is basically stirring a humongous kettle of boiling lye, stirring the clothes that are in it, Henny pulled out a sausage from her pocket, and she dropped it in the boiling lye. And Mrs. Inslee scolded her, saying she'd contaminated the wash water. And Henny didn't care. She picked up a quart cup, scooped up boiling lye in it, and threw it in Mrs. Inslee's face, blinding her and scalding her. And while Mrs. Inslee was writhing in pain, Henny went to the woodpile and got an axe, came in and hacked Mrs. Inslee to death. It was a terrible scene. So naturally, she was convicted to hang, and she did. She hanged right here behind me. All they did was take a crossbeam and put it on two poles. They tied one end of a rope around the pole, and then they put Henny on an ox cart below it and tied the other end around her neck. And then they just led the ox away with feed, so she had a long, slow, dangling death. It was horrible, as any execution is. But what they say about it, people for years afterwards said when you walked by Spring Valley at night, like at the witching hour when nobody was here and there was no noise, sometimes you could hear the swing of that rope, just going back and forth on that pole. But others said they could hear what sounded like children whispering or almost singing. "What did they hang you for, Bloody Henny? What did they hang you for, Bloody Henny?" So it's a scary place at night. So the Dorchester County Courthouse, if you're ever walking around at the witching hour, best not walk past Spring Valley.